Welcome back to Inside Motors. If you can remember, in the last show we were stripping down that 948 midget engine and we had the slight problem with the crankshaft being on its last grind. Now overnight I stripped down the 1100 motor and this is what we found. Come and have a look. These are the main bearing caps where the crankshaft fits, and what we found was this. As you can see, the bearing surfaces look really grey, and that's caused by oil starvation. Now the problem is with the 1100 it's quite a long stroke crank, and when somebody over revs it, gets the revs really up high above 7,000 RPM, the oil is drawn away from the main bearing caps and into the big ends, and that's what causes that problem. If we started the engine up as it is, it'd run like a right bag of nails with a good bottom end rumble. However, the crankshaft from this engine is probably a better option for regrinding than the one from the 948. So if the man from the machine shop says no with the 948, this is the engine we'll be rebuilding. This is the bearing from the 1100 and this is the bearing from the 948. And as you can see, that one's a dull and grey finish on it, which means it's been oil starved and over revved. And this one from the 948, yes, it's been used, but it's a nice clean white metal surface, which means it hasn't been abused. However, the 1100 crankshaft has only had one regrind, which means it's a viable option for a rebuild. And it's looking like that if the man from the machine shop says no, that we can't rebuild this 948. We're just going to have to wait for his opinion. Let's go and find out. Well, we're here at this machine shop in Bradford to see if they can do anything for us. Come on, let's stick it in and get it measured. Right, Dave, this is the block, the head and the crankshaft that we've got for you. What do you think of this block?
Well, it looks like it could do with a rebar. The cam bushes are fairly badly worn, so we could do with replacing them. Let's have a look at the block face. The block face doesn't look too bad. If you want it surface grinding, that's a possibility, but you'd be losing your identification tab.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we quite like to do is keep the identification tab on, so if it's within tolerance, we'll leave it like that. Because it's going into a classic, you see.
Yeah, that's fine, is that? So, that's covered the block, I think. Can move on to the cylinder head. Let's have a look at the other side again. Well, on there, the cylinder head face could definitely do with a surface grind.
Well, there's no problem there because we want to increase the compression ratio a little bit anyway, so taking it down shouldn't be a problem.
No problems at all. I don't know what to do about the valve guides and the seats. If you want the valve guides checking and the seats recutting,